Bridges. I'm Dot Roan, broker owner of Century 21 Covered Bridges Realty, and with me today are
Ruth Killian,
Renee Soul,
and Sue Barchett.
We're with you today because we're going to talk to you about different ways that for sale by owners find difficulty when trying to sell their home on their own. If you're thinking about selling, are you thinking about doing it alone or hiring a professional? Well, you might decide to do it on your own to save money, or maybe just because you think you can do it. But also, it's important to know that last year in 2018, only 7% of for sale by owners were able to sell their home without the help of a professional. So we're going to share with you today some pitfalls when trying to sell for sale by owner. There are some things that a for sale by owner has difficulty doing, and we're going to talk to you about those things.
Yeah, there's many hurdles when trying to sell your home, and you look at your property every day. There's just things that you don't realize that a professional coming in and looking at your home sees. So it's important to have great curb appeal, trim your shrubs, put out some nice flowers. Now that spring's here, we can do that. and on the interior, there's different ways that you can arrange your furniture to make rooms look bigger, let light in your home. It's very important to take good pictures of your property to market your home. You want to appeal to as many buyers as you can, and the pictures that you take and are put out on the internet, that's really your first showing. So it's important for those pictures to be done professionally.
That's true. I just sold a property that the seller had put on a website on their own, and when he said, "Oh, go look at it here, you'll see it," I pulled it up, and the first shot was of the hardwood flooring, only the hardwood flooring, looking down at it. And I went, not so good.
Not a good first impression.
Well, the other thing too is you have to have a price. When you start showing your home yourself as a for sale by owner, you have to have a price to give to the buyers that inquire. And how are you going to establish that? If you happen to have an appraisal from a certified appraiser, that would be a good thing to do. But if you just look at neighborhood properties or maybe the booklet that comes out and you say, well, they're asking X for their house and my house is better than that, and you just simply choose a higher price, it really doesn't reflect the value of the property.
Yeah, and homeowners don't have the access to the data that we do to price properties correctly.
Right. And it doesn't matter how much you need from the sale, it's what
Right.
the market is dictating for you to
Right, what the
receive
market's
from the
gonna
sale.
bear.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah. And another thing that you have to consider is, are you available to handle all the inquiries? I know as realtors, our phones are beeping or buzzing or ringing pretty much 24 hours a day. Not that we answer them 24 hours a day, but I know when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is look at my phone, see what text messages I got, see what's happening, and I always have somebody who's called and left a message, or people are up in the middle of the night and they're looking at websites and they're looking at homes, so they'll drop you a note and say, hey, I want to see this property. We're available. Our work, our job is doing house showings, selling houses, so we're doing that 24 hours a day. An owner, a for sale by owner, has to go to work generally. So you have a time gap during the day where you can't handle the inquiries. And the other thing is, how do you know who's coming through your house? I think it's a little bit scary. You're leaving strangers. You really don't know if they're financially able to buy your house. You don't know anything about the people unless they're your friends, and you're allowing them to come in your house. So that's a little bit scary and something that you want to think about.
Right. Working with a realtor, we know who's coming through your home because we pre-screen them and we're bringing them through knowing that they are interested in your property and can purchase.
And also, we show property during the day. You know, most people work during the day and don't have the availability to show the property. So we show properties in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, especially this time of the year when it stays lighter longer. We're doing more showings in the evening. So we're available to show property where that's a difficult thing for a for sale by owner to do.
And also, it's hard for a buyer to come through a home if the homeowner's there. There's a lot of pressure on the buyer if they're walking through and the homeowner's there watching them. So buying a home is very emotional, and you want to allow the buyer to feel like they can see themselves in the home. And if the homeowner's there watching over them, it really adds a lot of stress.
Yes, sellers don't like, or buyers don't like sellers hovering over them. However, if a seller has no idea if the buyer is qualified or if they're just they're casing the joint, I understand
Right.
sellers hovering over the buyers. But that's a huge advantage to having an agent represent you because, as Renee said, we know if the buyers are approved and can purchase, and we have a relationship with those buyers. So, we can give them a little bit of space when, viewing a property, which they need.
The buyer's walking through with tunnel vision when the homeowner is there. And many times you like to show the inside of a cupboard. Well, if the owner is the one walking them through, many times they will not open the cupboard doors or open the drawers to see if they're plastic on the bottom or hardwood or whatever. So keep that in mind.
And also, when a buyer does go through your house and they want to buy the house, we strike when the iron's hot. We're prepared to take them back to the office or even do it on the hood of our car and write a contract. As a seller, most sellers are not able to write a contract right there and then. And if you need to get to an attorney or someone to handle that for you, by that time the buyer could be gone. So, you need to be able to close when the buyer's ready to be closed.
The other thing that you need to do is you need to be able to negotiate the contract. Buyers typically don't come in and offer full price with no contingencies. So what do you do when you have a contract, you're trying to prepare it, they want to negotiate, it gets a little bit crazy in terms of negotiating. Realtors are not emotionally attached to the house. It gives freedom to both sides to negotiate what they think is fair, and they don't feel the pressure of being the one talking face to face with the other party.
And it's not only price, there's
Right.
terms.
Oh, sure.
Terms and conditions, time frames, contingencies, there's all sorts of different things that go into
Even
a
the
contract.
financing that the
Right.
buyer has could determine how the sale is going to play out.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, typically during the home buying process, there are inspections. And as a for sale by owner, you know first what you need to do in terms of inspections. Second, do you know how to negotiate anything that would come up in an inspection and how to handle that successfully so that the sale continues to closing once the inspections are dealt with.
And it's difficult as a seller to, get that feedback from an inspection that there's a problem with your home. Sellers have a tendency to take that very personally, where we can usually, soften the situation, make a seller understand and think about the end result and get over those few hurdles, because hurdles do come up in every transaction. We just need to get the seller through those hurdles, and it's more difficult for a seller to try to do alone.
And the buyer too. You need
Right.
to get both sides over the hurdles. Make them understand that it's a business transaction and it's not emotional, so we have to deal with it as a business transaction.
And as realtors, since we deal with those hurdles all the time, we know many of the professionals in our community who you can call on to help make the repairs, make the corrections, so that it's not completely overwhelming. We do have some information at our hands to help with that process.
Right. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that go into this when selling your home, from beginning to end. And if you decide to try it on your own, good luck to you, because if you are successful, you will save, every penny that you save will be well earned, because it is a full-time job to sell a home. If you decide you don't want to go it alone, reach out to us, give us a call. We'll be glad to give you information and advice, and be glad to talk to you about the advantages to having professional representation when selling your home. So thank you for joining us today on Coffee with Covered Bridges. Please visit our YouTube channel at Century 21 Covered Bridges, where we'll be sharing video tips weekly, and also visit our Facebook business page at Century 21 Covered Bridges, where again we're sharing a lot of information. So thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.